off the block. And I always say the fruit does not fall far from the tree. So all that stuff you gave Dan and Linda and Diane caused a lot of chaos in the world. I call it good chaos. On behalf of Father Dennis and Greg and this beautiful community of St. Anne's and all the friends, I extend heartfelt condolences to you. And when you sent me the message that our beloved Diane had passed, first of all, my mind went back to Africa. Because I had a big pilgrimage back almost 38 years ago. I had this pilgrimage to Africa, the huge safari, and Diane signed up for it. Little did I know that my life would change. She was a force to be reckoned with. We went to Kenya, and one of the best places that we had this incredible experience, this mystical moment on Mount Kilimanjaro. I mean, we flew over it, but we had Mass at Mount Kilimanjaro. And what I remember about that beautiful moment was, it was just beyond words. And so when I thought about Mount Kilimanjaro, I thought about the mountain of Beatitudes. Because when you think about the Mount Kilimanjaro, the mountain, it's about perspective. What I know about Diane, she had perspective. She could see things that nobody else could see. We had these very deep conversations. She would ask these theological questions, mystery time. I would say, Diane, don't worry about it. Just enjoy the mountain. And she'd have another question, the mystery. I said, it's mystery. Just leave it alone. Enjoy the mystery. But I want to know, no, just enjoy the mystery. But I know for Diane, to be in that mountain of Kilimanjaro was a heavenly experience. Something very profound, something very rich, and she could touch God. What you may or may not know is that Diane's name literally means heavenly. It means divine. It means God-dislike, God-like. It also means light. So when you, Jackie, I won't be long, you stay. So when you named her Diane, you were telling us that she came from heaven. You didn't know that, I'm telling you now. She came from heaven, she came from the divine, she came from light. And she was godlike. And so she could not be anything except who is in heaven, God. And I always describe God as love. So whoever met and encountered Diane encountered heavenly love, divine love. She was the light of love, the light of peace and compassion, goodness, kindness, generosity. One thing I do know on that trip, after a while, I was no longer in charge. She was in charge. She said that way ago. She had the ability to just take over. In her own unique way, she kind of rearranged things. It was just wonderful. I was happy to surrender. And that's the beauty of Diane. When you met her, you either have to fight her or just surrender. It was better to surrender. Because when you surrender to her, she would teach you some incredible things. It's interesting to read. I went and looked up some of her website material. And she described herself. She had no problem describing who she is. She says, I'm dynamic, I'm inspirational, I am a leader, I am committed to service, I am expressive. That's an understatement. I'm expressive, I'm approachable. Oh my God, I said, that just sounds like God. Dynamic, inspiration, approachable, leader, service, dedicated to others, a profound teacher, an instructor. So she looks and acts like that. And so she could not help herself but to be able to take all those gifts and talents and to use them to make life better for others. Isn't that the purpose of every life, is to make sure that when we come into this world, we have to figure out who we are. And I know she did that well, figure out who am I? What do I need to be successful? So she decided, I'm just going to be Diane. As I evolve, I'm just going to be Diane. And then you figure it out. So for Diane, to be Diane is to be what God called her to be, a force of love in the world. She was just a love. You couldn't help but fall in love with that news. I can tell you a secret about what happened in Africa. So we were walking in villages and visiting all kinds of people, and she would introduce me. This is Father Warren. In Africa, when you say Father Warren, they think that I'm the father of Diane. They said, oh, that's your daughter? No. I said, no. You fathered that? No. So they wanted to, sell me goats and cows and things so I could get a dowry for her. I almost gave in and did it. But you see, I love it because she just played with it. She had a deep sense of humor. So from then on, she would just tell people, that's my father. But you know what's so interesting is that Diane just loved being with people. It was her joy and delight to make sure that when she looked at you, she saw something in you and she reached in and tried to grab it. Even when people didn't see the good, she said, I see something good in you, and I went, oh, pull it out. That was her that was her craft. That was her heart. What I realized in thinking about Diane is that, oh yeah, she might have been interested in theater and drama and art and painting, but no matter where she was, there was always drama. She was the drama. She was the drama. She went after you. She was the drama. She didn't talk about theater. She did theater. And for those of you that know the word theater means, theater comes from the word that means to behold. So theater for her was this capacity in art to behold people in such a way that you can see deeply in their heart and see their goodness and draw out. That's the theater. To look at someone's life and know that there's drama, good drama that can be drawn out for the good of the other. And so for me, when she entered into that great, straight, heavenly home, she goes, what drama? What drama? Oh my God, look at the drama here. And she's causing drama. And she God probably gave her a little, so this is for you to let you know. Your dad. What I learned from people is that sometimes we may not understand the book of wisdom, Timothy's letter, or Matthew, but Diane, in her own way, was the gospel. She was good news. She was that beautiful soul who would work hard to make sure that people did not fight. She was into interpersonal relationships, teaching people to resolve conflict, teaching people to listen to each other deeply with a sense of compassion, with a sense of respect, so that we can live together and know that we can work out our problems in a way where everybody can be happy together. We need more people like this. And what a great lesson the world could learn from Diane as she advocates for community theater. That means advocating for a community that teaches others how to love and respect one another, and look at each other's gifts and talents not as obstacles, but as ways to succeed and to promote the well-being of others. What a great day. 59 years. Make a lot of difference in 59 years. Think about all the people she's touched, all the lives. all the movements, all the drama groups, all that she did to create a sense of belonging. That's what it was about. I'm using art, I'm using my painting, I'm using everything to create a sense of belonging and to see God in everything. So in the Beatitudes Gospel, there's a verse that describes her to a T. It's verse 8, which reads, "Blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God." Diane used these eyes, not these eyes. She knew that these eyes of the heart could reach into places that these eyes could never see. It's with this heart of love that she is able to reach into people's lives and say, I see something good in you, and I'm going to love it off of you. Because I see God in you. That was her faith in action. She didn't talk about faith. She lived her faith. She says, I'm going to do my best to make sure you understand I see you. I see your goodness. I love you. And I'm going to do my best to make a better version of you. That's art. That's Steve. That's the universal drama. If you see drama that we have in life, it's a drama of learning how to love God and love one another, doing our best to create an artistic world that sees the dynamic goodness of every single human being and brings it all together to do what God does every single day. He loves us unconditionally. The great artist is God. God is a great artist. And boy, did he make an incredible human being. And God's handiwork, God's good work, must never be defiled and always be respected. Whether we do it or not, God has given to us a beautiful example, a beautiful model of the one who walks by faith and love, goodness and kindness, the one who's here to make sure that we all do our best to make the world a better place for all to live. So Jackie, I want to thank you and Bob for creating this beautiful soul. Thank you for saying, yeah, you paid me to say it. That's what you did a wonderful job. And I know that these days have not been easy for you because you have endured the grief and loss of your beautiful husband, Bob, and now your daughter. And just know that looking around, there's a lot of love here for you and for your family, and that you, Linda, Danny, these nephews loved her back home to God. Thank you for giving her such a beautiful lesson. Thank you for being such a beautiful mother. And thank you for the faith, the love, the joy, the kindness, and all the beautiful gifts that you taught her. It's for that reason that we now ask God to give her light, happiness, and peace forever and ever. May her soul and the souls of all the faithfully departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace. Amen.
Amen.